Okay, today my dog Butchie actually wants to take a picture. He's highly reactive, like his owner. I'm the rider spirit, and I guess he's my rider spirit dog. He likes to play with his toys. He does not like loud voices. He does not, which is unfortunate because he's with me. He is like a lot of us creatives that they're and spiritual people or even non-creatives that we have a threshold limit. And his trainer tells me, she's given me a long list because I obviously am the wrong person for this, but that all of us, or that he, and I felt very simpatico with him, is that he has a threshold and I can't let him get over threshold. And I was thinking about that and how we each have a threshold, and especially during these times, whether it's the pandemic or political issues, physical issues, family issues, there's a point where we all just kind of go along. It all seems good. Nothing, and I'm saying seems good, but we can take it as it comes. But I've always noticed that when things start speeding up, and all of a sudden, one day it's this. For instance, this week, the first day, I had my own, I had my own business, but I also had some other businesses that were eligible for unemployment and PPP. I was getting those fined for 2 months. Well, Monday, or maybe it was Tuesday, I saw my deposits weren't put in. And so I called. Well, I didn't call unemployment because I don't know if any of you have been trying to call anything like unemployment, the SBA, anything like that. They're not there. You can't get hold of anybody. It just goes busy, busy, busy. Well, I got onto one of the chats. And one of the chats was, because I've never had this happen, usually your eligibility, you go through all their bells and whistles. And I was also in government for 20 years. And I got millions of dollars for public projects. So I just went through the same process, and I've done it with other non-for-profits that I'm involved in. Anyway, and you either get it or you don't. But once you start, it continues. So all of a sudden it just stops. So I called and they said, well, we're going through this evaluation. And I said, well, this is like $4,000 to $5,000 less a month. And she said, oh, we understand, but just keep filling it in. Okay, I kind of understood. I still got a call because I want to make sure that what's going on is something that hasn't changed, or if they just should have done this earlier and didn't, whatever, because of the pandemic, just got money out. No, we're just going through an assessment. Okay, so that was one day. So I get off the phone and I'm looking, because what discovered this was I was looking just for my automatic deposits, is then I see someone's hacked into my account the second time in 2 months. I already had it hacked in once. I had to close that account out and work with the bank. And of course, here you are in a pandemic, your small business, there's no business. Now someone's taking money out. So that was 2 months ago. I got that cleared. Someone else is trying to get in my new account. So I try to call the bank. Of course, the banks, they're on limited services. So I bring my computer and I can't get in because obviously they're not open, and it's a drive-through. So I go to the drive-through and I tell them, oh yeah, there is something going on. Do you know a Corey Stravonic or something? I said, no. What should we do? Close it. And I thought, well, I've just paid all my bills. I don't want this closed because I have all these thousands of, dollars, or not, I shouldn't say thousands, but money, bill collectors, whether it's $100 or $5, I've money that's going to have to clear. So I turn around, I said, well, let me think about what I want to do. And so then I get home and my phone rings and I'd taken my car in to get some work done. And one of which was some body work. My cousin and I had been out of town doing some family patterning work last year, and she, by mistake, ran over a grave. Anyway, hurt the bumper, and I wanted to get that fixed. So Um, I turned it in, had a rental car, and the phone rings, and it is the gentleman who's owned the body shop, and he said, "Listen, that's a strange paint color. It's a brand new car. Would you mind if it doesn't match the rest of your car?" And I thought, yeah, I do. I said, well, I don't think I can accept that. And I said, well, I was going to pay my deductible and the insurance pay the rest of it. And I said, I don't think I really want to do that. Well, I won't release the car. So now I'm making 15 calls to my insurance agent, both claims and the actual agent. Finally, I said, I'm going to stand back. So this is the part where I'm saying that I am at threshold, over threshold, because I started being really rude to this gentleman. I had not been rude to anyone else yet. This is now like noon. By noon, all this other stuff had happened. Is I'm like, well, I don't think that's acceptable. Okay, so I'm over threshold, just like my dog. I can tell it, and I feel. I mean, I'm at a drive-through trying to take care of accounts. I'm trying to figure out why all this $4,000 is gone. Someone's trying to get into what I do, and I am rather rude. And finally, I said, I'm over threshold. Now, unlike Butchie, I don't have an owner who takes care of me and gets me away from the overwhelm piece, whether it's the dog, whether it's someone he doesn't like, to get him into a comfortable place. I really had no comfortable place. So I said, well, I'm going to just take a ride in my rental car. Now remember, we're in pandemic. We're in green, so we can go out. But I took a ride, and as I was riding, I'm in this rental car, and all of a sudden, just by getting out of my over threshold and back a little, I thought, why this car for 10 days? Instead of me going on and on, because the car, it's now supposed to be back Monday or Tuesday or whatever day it was going to be back, is why don't I just say, hey, in 10 days, I got this car. We'll reassess it. You got 10 days to find the right paint. If you don't, we'll see what we're going to do. And so I called the insurance agent, told them, I said, make a note, because my concern was the insurance company had said, well, you can just take the car, and then when he gets the paint, we won't make you pay another deductible. And I said, well, I've been in business long enough that when I accept something and sign off, and what if it needs a whole new paint job, $5,000 or $6,000 later, and you say, well, you accepted it. I don't want to be in that position. Well, anyway, so I called up and I said that. It was much calmer, and said that to the woman. She goes, oh, and I said, would you call the guy? Because I really wasn't very nice to him. And she said, sure. And he just said, I'm tired. You could tell the two of us together, I was bringing out he's working by himself in the middle of a pandemic, has very little people around him. They can't obviously have people just walk in. I'm there. I'm at threshold. So we have two people over threshold, or at threshold. Now we're over. And he finally called me at 4, and I apologized. He said, no, I have to apologize too. So my message today, I think, is what I'm going to work on with Butchie is, and I've been training him, but I don't choose, unfortunately, a piece of cheese just doesn't do it for my over threshold, is to find out when I'm at threshold, and when I am, what is my piece of cheese? What do I need to get back out of threshold? That day, it was just to take a ride around, and I talked to myself in the car, vent. And finally, all that was away, and I thought, wait a minute, why don't we just do this one step at a time? I got a car for 10 days, give him time. Well, the long story short of it is, the branch manager called. She said, I'm going to protect your money. I'm going to put that in another account. Someone's got your port. We'll take care of that. And unemployment, I'm going to try to get hold of them to get, I feel that's what's going on, but just to verify. Or it's not unemployment, but it's your SBA. I did get something from SBA. We're going to go through with that. Is that, and this guy, the paint came in, the right paint. He just called me Today's Friday. This all started on Tuesday. He said the new paint looks good. Apparently it's a new paint. And he said, I think it's going to match, but it won't be till Monday. So that's fine because, he wants to paint it. So I like to get anybody's comments, like when they know they're over threshold or when they're getting near threshold. And Butchie, if you want to say bye, there's Butchie. Come here, Butch. I guess, come here, Butch. I guess he is calm and doesn't have to worry about being threshold. He's just playing with his ball. So thank you and have a good day. This is the Writer's Spirit, and have a good weekend.